Hey family, and welcome to my channel. Listen, today's message is going to be titled, Be More Quiet in This Season, okay? So if you know that you are one of those type of people where you kind of lack discernment, you kind of tend to get excited and reveal too much too soon, this message is for you. Because the Lord is trying to deliver you something, okay? He's trying to do a new work in you, and he's trying to deliver you something. So the Lord is saying, keep information to a minimum in this season, especially on things that you and the Lord are working on, okay? So stop telling everyone everything. This is the season where people deserve a limited version of you, okay? So that you and the Lord can work out whatever you're working on in private and in peace, okay? People can't ruin what they don't know, okay? So too much too soon can lead to ruin. So sometimes people can see you working on something. They know it's you and God. They know what you're capable of, okay? And they can begin to sow doubt into you. And even worse, they can begin to sow negativity into you and make you doubt yourself and make you doubt what God has told you all along. So the Lord is saying, in this season, the things that he has given you, keep them close to your heart. Work on them in peace. Work on them in private. Whether that's a relationship, right? The Lord is saying, work on this relationship in private, especially if you're the type of person that pick up the phone and you're like, hey, I'm dating. And then the person on the other side of the phone, whoever you're calling, is like, oh, child, who is it this time? You know, that sort of thing. And then you realize that the relationship sort of fall through, or you're telling somebody about a business and you pick up the phone and like, yeah, I want to start a corporation, or I want to start a non-for-profit or something like that. And this person's like, a non-for-profit? And then you're like, you know what? You're right. That's probably not a good idea. And the Lord is saying he's trying to separate his people from these negative mindset carrying type of people so that they can get to the things that God has promised them, okay? So people will begin to speak. They will begin to speak doubt into things. And this is knowingly and unknowingly, because sometimes people just have a negative perspective at life. Sometimes you are talking about things that God has put on your heart and God plans for you to see through, but you're talking these things to people who have never done it. They've never seen, people like you accomplish such a thing, right? And so because they've never done it, it's something that's unfamiliar to them, they will begin to sow discord against you, inadvertently or purposely, right? And so purposely, some people just don't have a good heart. And so because God looks at the hearts and minds of people, trust God in this season when he's telling you to be more quiet. Because some people they'll begin to, sow with their mouth, saying, just saying different things like, I can't believe that this person is thinking about a kingdom spouse, or I can't believe that this person is saying that they want to start this entrepreneurship and they barely could, whatever, sowing discord against you, right? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. And some people are trained to speak death, and they don't even always have to realize this. Like the good people, like people that are supposed to be for you, like people in your family, maybe you have a negative friend or whoever, right? Because not everybody has supportive people around them, but you will know, right? You will know when you release information too soon. Why? Because as soon as it leaves your mouth, you're like, I probably shouldn't have said that. Yeah, that was something that I probably should have kept that one to myself, right? But now by this time, it's already too late. So the Lord is saying, keep some things private. Keep some things close to your heart, especially what you and the Lord are working on in this season, okay? What people don't know, they can't ruin. That's the main thing. Okay, so people that mean well can attack you inadvertently. I have seen this with, family members, family members and relatives. I have seen this with spouses. I have seen this with friends. I've seen this with associates, whatever. Okay. And a lot of the times, they mean well, but maybe this person worries a lot. Maybe this person has a lack of faith. Maybe this is a person that should encourage you, depending on their position in your life, but because they have a bad mindset, maybe they have a poverty mindset, maybe they have a lack mindset, so they are not accustomed to the things that God has shown you. This is why the Lord is saying, keep it quiet. There will be a time where you can announce your win and everyone will see. But some seasons are more private, and they're supposed to be more private, where it's just you and God. Especially if you're the type of person that announce things and they don't typically come to pass. The Lord is saying, be more quiet in this season because he's trying to do something in you, okay? And then what was my, okay. Because many of us, we've been through that thing, right? Where we've announced something prematurely and then it don't go as planned. It don't go the way we saw it going. So, the Lord is actually trying to prevent that. We get excited, but God is saying less is best in this season. He is turning things around. Watch how good life is about to get once you start to become more reserved. Once you start to become more private about what you are doing, you and God are doing in this season. Once you become more quiet, not announcing everything to everyone, not announcing everything on social media, but being more private, watch what it is that the Lord is going to do in your life, okay? And so keep it to yourself, right? The good news, keep it to yourself, especially if you're a person that lacks discernment. This is the season of you and God. So I was reminded of the scripture of Samson and Delilah in Judges. And we know that, Samson was supposed to conquer the Philistines. And right as he was supposed to conquer the Philistines, his ops sent him a woman, okay? They sent in, a woman from the enemy's camp. And what is her goal? Her goal is to destroy them. So, man, y'all need to make sure y'all not getting a woman from the enemy, okay? Because women have been ruining men since the beginning of time. I'm just saying. So your woman matters. Your wife matters, okay? But anyway, the Philistines sent in Delilah, and Delilah her main mission is to find out the strength of Samson so that he can be conquered by his enemies, okay? So she's, laying up around him, and she's like, oh, what makes you so strong, Samson? I just want to know what makes you so strong. So Samson had discernment, because in the beginning, he was like kind of spinning her. He wasn't really telling her where his strength lied. He was like, well, if you tie me up, then they'll be able to conquer me and I won't be able to get out. She tied him up. He busted out the ropes. It wasn't that type of thing, but she was persistent. And what happened was Samson, he got tired of her prying. So he eventually gave in, and he said, you know what? The power is in my hair. The minute he let that information into the wrong ears, she went forth, and what they do, they cut his locks and he lost his power, okay? And then his enemies had access to conquer him. So it's just like one of these things that you guys have to realize. So I always have thought about that with men cutting their locks and losing their power. I'm like, oh, that's very interesting, right? But his power was in his hair, and he let that be known to this woman, and she revealed this information and was able to conquer his strength, okay? And so with that, sometimes people will pry information out of you. They will just be around, like if they know something, if you get quiet, be ready for people to know why you're quiet. People to want to know why you're quiet. They're going to come in and maybe trying to get information from you. This could be people from your past. This could be people in the present. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but people will try to get that information out of you. Like, well, what are you up to nowadays? Who you dating nowadays? Because I really want to know what's going on, And the minute you let in, here we go back to square one, right? So the Lord is saying, just be more private in this season. I'm gonna have to put my phone on the charger. But be more private in this season. Who you're dating. And this is not to be weird. This is not to tell people to start acting weird. Like, this is for you to reserve some information, especially things that have not come to pass yet that the Lord has promised you. Everybody don't deserve to know everything about you. People should not look on your social media and be able to know everything about you. Okay. If it's a future project, the Lord is saying build in private. People can't destroy what they don't know. People can't copy what they don't know. And there will be a season where you can share these things, okay? There will be a time where you can share your excitement with everyone. But there's a time to be quiet. Like people that understand seasons, there's a time to be quiet. There's a time to mourn. There's a time to rejoice. There's a time to be excited. All of these things, you will have your moment. You will have your time. But I think the primary focus of this message is going to be for those of you guys who lack discernment, for those of you guys who reveal too much too soon, and for those of you guys who, You have people in your life, and maybe these are people that you are supposed to be able to trust, but maybe for whatever reason, like I said, a lack of faith, or maybe some things that they're going through in their life to where they have a negative mindset, will begin to attack that very dream that the Lord has given you. So be very careful with the information in this season of what you are working on. Do this in private. There will be a time to reveal, but the Lord is saying, as for now, stop telling everyone everything. Everyone doesn't need to know everything about you. Confuse the enemies, okay? And in due season, there will be a time where you can rejoice. There will be a time where you can celebrate. There will be a time where you can call and tell everybody like, hey, this is what I was working on. Now beware. Beware of those people that will say, you was in that relationship without me. You ain't tell me, your best friend. You ain't tell me about that business. All I can say is either the people gonna be happy for you or they're not, okay? And so it's just like, and they should be happy for you. They should not give off the response that they missed something and they mad about it. You know, they should actually be happy for you. They should actually be happy when you come out and say, hey, I'm in a serious relationship. I'm engaged. Hey, I just started this business. This is already off the ground. And you find out when Facebook find out. You find out when the world find out. And people are not going to be announcing things prematurely. And that's okay. Okay. So this message is to just be more quiet in this season, because God is trying to do some things for you. And if you're announcing everything prematurely, you're inviting in more warfare than there has to be. Okay. So be more quiet in this season. This is the season of you and God working on whatever it is that you're working on. And there will be a time to rejoice. There will be a time to let everyone know what it is that you have been working on in private. Okay. But until that time, keep it quiet. Bye, y'all.